99% of people will never reach the third stage of self-improvement. If you grew up like me, an absolute degenerate pussy, horrible with women, unable to regulate our emotions, and just fucking embarrassed of ourselves. You turn to self-improvement, but now you're starting to question why sometimes self-improvement isn't improving us anymore, and it's rather hurting us. And if that's you, here's the self-improvement ladder. And it's just 3 stages of self-improvement that I believe that all men go through. But the last one is the best one, and it's one that I think only 1% of men get there. My goal is by the end of this video to be able to get to 3 as fast as possible so you don't have to waste so much time in your lives, and you don't have to end up becoming one of the guys who just stays watching videos like this for the rest of your life instead of experiencing it. Before we start, my name is Damien, and my mission with this channel is to teach a younger and possibly an older version of myself all these lessons that I've learned just fucking up so many times in life, because I hated my life for so long until I started self-improvement and just dedicating my life to becoming a better version. And in this video, I genuinely believe if you can muster up the attention span, force yourself not to scroll to the bottom of the comments, not click off, this video has the potential to save 1, 5, 20 years off your life. Stage 1, degenerate self-improvement. So I think all guys in the self-improvement space start here. And actually I believe that 75% of the guys that either make these self-improvement videos or are still watching them are gonna be stuck in this phase for the rest of their lives. So this happens when typically you, me, every single guy in the world gets fucking hurt. We get hurt by women, we get hurt by the world around us, by shit that happens to us. And for the first time in our lives, what we were taught in movies, from our parents, in school, through our experiences, didn't add up. And that girl that we thought on the first date we were gonna spend the rest of our lives with turned out to not be the right match. Maybe she cheated on you. Maybe she left. But now, there's this side of the internet that comes in, and the algorithm can weirdly sense that you're in pain and starts sending you these videos that for the first time in your life has validated you, where everybody else in the world tells you to just let things go, man the fuck up and keep moving, and that the reason that whatever happened to you happened is because you were weak, because you were not financially successful, because you showed your emotion as a man, and because you were low value. These are also known as the red pillars. So what is fantastic is they start explaining some truths to life that I never learned before. I never grew up knowing that biologically women are always going to be searching for the highest value of man. The man with the most financial resources, with the most confidence, with the best genetic looks, because it's just nature. I always thought if you were just the nerd guy in the movie, it would be fine. If you were funny or you just cared. It didn't matter how you looked or how you kept your hygiene. If you just loved her, of course she's gonna stay by. I didn't know that people would treat you differently if you weren't in the top forms of success. I didn't know that 50% of the men out there are depressed, hate their lives, work jobs that they're not proud of, and come home to potentially a family that doesn't respect them. And I surely didn't know there was a group of 1% guys out there that can buy the things they want, can get the women they want. Are these guys even happy? So genuinely, some of these truths that you learn from some of these red pill videos, and I used to watch these all the fucking time. Like, shout out to Steph is Cold. He's the first red pill PUA pickup artist, fucking self-improvement YouTuber I ever watched. I remember this chick broke my heart when I was 16 years old, and I went on YouTube and I was like, why did these women leave me? And he was the first one, and it was this like same height black dude who was just telling me that all these women were hoes. And as you know, the biggest downside of listening to these red pill YouTubers is that most of them treat this shit like a business. They care about you just as much as this fucking algorithm and these women that cheated on you care about you. They don't truly care about fucking men's mental health. They're just here to make the most polarizing video, so you click on it, you give them more AdSense, and they get most views. Because that's how our brains are wired. Our brains want to hear all this negative, fucked up stuff, because it's easier to hear this. It's easier to hear the degenerate red pill self-improvement. And then life starts becoming a game. We start ghosting women on purpose, even though we don't want to, and we want to be a little bit more clingy to the people that we love. We want to check up on them and see how they were going, but nope. We learn the game of money and finances, that if we dedicate all of our 20s, every waking hour, to finding the best way to make money, it doesn't matter if this is a job or a business venture that you actually love, as long as it makes the most amount of money. Because if you make the most money right now, when you're 30, 40 years old, you can retire and actually live the life you want. And possibly the worst thing we learn. And if you came from one of those red pill self-improvement videos and it got you juiced up, you're gonna think I'm the biggest pussy for saying this. But I'll also say, I guarantee you, none of these guys that you're watching have the same level of accomplishment and true happiness as the guys giving you this more balanced advice. Look at any of them. How many of them actually have success beyond finances? Like, bro, how many fucking red pillars have a loving, like, dating life, bro? How many of them can come home to a family and be grateful and spend time with the people that they love and actually go and enjoy life? Because the last thing you learn is to never show our emotions. That we as men have to suppress all of our emotions because they're what got us hurt in the first place. Although it is actually fantastic to learn these things that we've never learned. I'm not saying that it's bad that we learn. These are great things and great tools to have in our toolbox of self-improvement. Knowing what the DNA genetic nature of female nature is, stuff that, of course, no fucking teacher in high school is gonna tell you that, yeah, if you wanna get the pretty girl, you should definitely go work on your looks. You should definitely build an unmatched will of confidence, have a level of financial success that is extremely impressive, and have the highest work ethic that you possibly can. And although it's great to learn all of these, we just end up 5, 10, 15 years later, when you finally have a second to breathe and reflect and have that introspective thought on what your life is supposed to be like, and if you're truly fulfilling your deepest, most desired purpose, and you realize you're not. And you just spent the last 5, 10 years working as a social media marketing agency manager, as somebody trading crypto to get this fucking paper resource. Of course, it can unlock financial, location, time freedom. You did that by wasting years of your life to something that wasn't toward your true purpose. And trust me, from experience, last year this time, I was making $30,000 a month with only one employee. And I was paying myself out around $25,000 a month. I could travel wherever the fuck I wanted. I could buy almost anything I wanted, and I fucking hated my life. And that's because this degenerate self-improvement to make the most money and go party the most and spend your weekends being a pickup artist, you're meeting all these women that you know that deep down are never gonna make great wives, and you're wasting all this time doing things that you don't actually love to chase an ideal of somebody else, of some fucking self-improvement guy, some fucking red pillar on the internet, popping $10,000 bottles of Grey Goose, going home, making his videos, and for the 30 minutes he has in the day to relax, he looks at himself in the mirror and he probably hates himself because he doesn't have the true love from not only people in his life that he loves, but from himself. I only started finally truly loving every aspect of my life, from the work to the relaxation to the recovery to even the stress, the ups and downs, to the problems of every single day life, when I started fixing my mental health, when I got to the second to the third stage of self-improvement. The degenerate first stage did nothing but just motivate me to keep going. I'm very grateful I learned these lessons. I'm very grateful that I learned how all these things I never knew about the world worked, but we have to evolve from this, because the worst part of staying in this degenerate self-improvement, when your entire social media feed is filled with all these videos of these fucking Miami hoes just talking about how they keep cheating on their boyfriends, and it keeps reinforcing this negative belief you have in the world, is that you will develop one of the deepest, worst insecurities about not having perfection. And that comes from idolizing these men that probably don't truly live lives that are within your purpose. All these red pillar guys are gonna say that you're stuck in the Matrix, that you've been watching too many Disney movies and your life is destined for this and you gotta come out of the Matrix. They are stuck in a whole different Matrix. Luckily, around 24% of the men who start self-improvement graduate to stage 2, the gentleman's self-improvement. This starts from getting so tired and burnt out of seeing the same old red pill content telling you to become an alpha Chad and make your money through crypto. And then you start switching that degenerate content you're watching. No more sad breakup videos. No more half-naked women on your feed talking about cheating on their boyfriends. And you start watching videos that build your self-improvement toolbox. You start learning the psychology of how to build better attachment. You start learning the benefits of meditation, of gratitude, of delayed gratification, in even deeper philosophies like trying to figure out what your true purpose is in life and how to align your life toward it. And you even start realizing that some of the advice from self-improvement YouTubers, especially from me, what the fuck do I know, is not set in stone. And what works for your life and your situation is not gonna work for everybody. But you still have these toolboxes, this information that you learn from all these videos, all this media that you've watched. And now, instead of letting these tools control you of how you go up in the world, you just get to go out there and pick from that box. And you start hating women, the world, and yourself less. I remember I saw this one YouTube title that it was self-improvement is ruining your life. The first instinct I had was to resent it, to get angry. I didn't even click on this video and I was getting pissed off. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? The self-improvement is ruining my life. Self-improvement saved my life. I was depressed for so long. I just came off of like my first terrible breakup. Self-improvement is the first thing that taught me how to be a man, how to take control of my life. And I think what it was for me, that title was a little bit right, because I was just so stuck in having to do this, having to talk to people like this, having to get this out of people, or this is how you have to act as a man, exactly like this. And then I fell into the worst pain, even worse than the years of depression, worse than going through that horrible breakup. And it was this constant hatred of myself that I was never gonna become this perfect man. I think so many young men out there think the same or have such a similar feeling. Watching videos of these guys telling you that if you're not the top 0.01% man, you have nothing to offer the world and you deserve to get shit on. Like, how fucking toxic is that to tell somebody that? I'm here to tell you that you will never become the perfect man, because your idea of what the perfect man is what you've been fed by the internet. And the only way to actually reach what the perfect man is to step away from just consuming and consuming all day and take the most important lesson in self-improvement. This is an actionable step, but sitting down with yourself, taking time. I don't care if it's the journaling I always preach and you're just writing it out and getting your thoughts to the pen and the paper, because I'm tired of telling you guys that you have to do it this one way. Truthfully, I've only said that in the past because I know it's gonna make you guys more fired up. I know it's gonna make you wanna keep coming back to my channels, because subconsciously you're gonna think, Damo has the exact way to do this. I don't. I have the exact way of how I did it. I think it's a fantastic way. But it doesn't have to be you sitting down with a journal. It could just be you sitting there alone by yourself, having these introspective thoughts and truly coming to terms with yourself and asking yourself, what does the end of self-improvement look like to you? What does this perfect man that you want to be look like to you? That is the only way to become the perfect man. And finally, the third and final stage of self-improvement, the stage that only 1% of men get to. Stage 3, self-improvement. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I'm here 100%. I still watch a lot of self-improvement videos. I love to see what's in the space and learn more about the tools in the toolbox. But the closer I get to this final stage of self-improvement, this self-improvement, the happier my life becomes. The more money I make, the more successful I become, the more love I receive and the more love I can give, and the closer I diverge toward my purpose. So self-improvement is after you've watched all these ideologies about self-improvement for everybody else, you start to finally realize that self-improvement in the basis of it all is about you. It's about becoming the version of yourself that you are the most proud of. The version of yourself that you can look in the mirror and be fucking proud of every single day. And that there are no steps. There's no roadmap, there's no path. That if one ideology comes and it works, it might not work the next week. And it's about putting your best foot forward every single day and achieving and becoming the man you want to be. Being okay with failing. Being okay with relapsing on porn, but also being strong enough to get the fuck back up and know truthfully in your hearts of hearts that that is not a version of yourself that you're proud of, but that's also not a version you want to kill. That is that little boy that was hurt as a child, as a teenager, a year ago. That's that boy inside you that felt weak. And instead of driving in your car with that little boy beside you and trying to push him out of the door, you embrace him and you bring him in. And instead of beating him up, you start to heal that little boy by proving to him that you can work toward the life that you want, that you truly want to live, your morals, your values, your tools and your toolboxes, and bring him along with you. That is self-improvement. So how the fuck do we get here? Well, number one, you gotta decide what your morals are and be honest with yourself. So you still wanna be a strong, successful man, but you have to do it in a way that you can truly respect. If you wanna go make $10 million in the next 5 years, how can you get there in a way that you truly respect, that you are truly proud of? Could you go scam a ton of people about a course or some crypto that you don't truly believe in? Sure. Can you respect yourself doing that? That's a question you have to ask yourself. You want to go get a loving girlfriend in the next year? Sure. But are you going to say things that other people told you to say from the internet? Or are you going to be the most yourself that you can fucking possibly be? But also know that there are statistically millions of other women in the world, and it's okay if she leaves, and that you are just trying to find the one that works for you. You're trying to find the one that can love the strong, successful man that you are now and that you will become, and you are being your most authentic self. And the second part is becoming your most authentic self. So how do you do this? I'll make a full video on this because I think this is such an interesting topic, and I think this is one of my biggest struggles through my entire life. I had this introspective thought the other day and I wrote it down a little bit, but my whole life I've always had this urge and need for people to love me for me, people to care about me for my most authentic self, without the gimmicks, without pretending to be this golden boy and saying things exactly how they should be said and making these videos with the perfect edits. And I think that's because as a child, we had this like close friend group of like 8 to 10 people throughout high school, and they would always praise me for my acting skills, for being captain of sports teams, for my hard work and dedication. But when I was just like trying to make jokes by myself with the boys, I was always the first one to get shit on. And because my friends always shit on me when I was the most authentic version of myself, but always praised me for being a less real version of myself, I would always gravitate toward that extreme, less real version of myself throughout my life. I mean, that's why I built most of my channel making skits, doing comedy, instead of just talking like this, talking about things that just fucking come to my head. It was until I started making videos like this. If you've come from the main channel, if you've seen like the 405 video, that was probably the first video where I showed a version of myself that was truly real. And it showed me that people can care about that. And not only can they, but people truly care about that authentic version of yourself the most. If you think about all these guys who are the most popular in the media with the most success, they're usually the most authentic self. Like guys like Andrew Tate, like you can love him or hate him. You just get this sense and this feeling that a guy like that, of course sometimes he plays it up, but the things that he says, he probably truly believes in. Like he believes in that lifestyle. Like that's him. Whether you love it or hate it, that's respectable. And then you see the guys who are like the copycat versions of him. Like who's the guy who's like the fucking country guy who's always with him? Guys like that, you can just tell through the camera. You can always tell through a camera, no matter how good of an actor we might be. You can tell when people aren't living authentically and they're just saying shit to get your attention or whatever. And it works, they'll get the views, but it's harder to connect. So just notice next time when other people aren't being their authentic self, and just having that notice is probably the best way that you can become the most authentic version of yourself. Because once you start noticing it in other people, you'll start to be able to notice when you say something or you do something isn't authentic. And I'm still working on this. I feel like when I first started making these videos specifically, it was probably 85% of it was like played up, and I had the whole script and I was reading line for line, and I redo the takes 100 times. But now I've just gotten to a point where it's still probably like 60% things I'm reading off and 40% me just going on rants, but I'm able to go on these rants and say these things and have more confidence in them because I know it's my authentic self, and I know that the delayed gratification of going down this path more will always be more fulfilling and rewarding in the future. Thirdly, nobody can lead you down this path but experience. So you can listen to me and all these other self-improvement guys say all this shit to you and learn all of this and get stuck in this loop of spending hours watching videos like this, and sure, you'll probably learn a ton of great shit, but if you aren't actually going out and failing and trying for yourself and going to fuck up and letting yourself fuck up, that is the most important thing. Is set up for success, but allow yourself to fuck up. I'm gonna take pride in, I might be the first self-improvement guy to tell you this on the internet, that it is okay if you fuck up, if you're not the perfect man. Because you have so many more years to go, and the fact that you're staying on this path and you're allowing yourself to fuck up, you're getting closer to that third stage of self-improvement and being okay with it. Having the ability to go out, put yourself in these situations and these experiences and chasing these goals that are beyond your edge, that are slightly above your comfort zone, is the best way and the best lessons you can learn for the future. That is self-improvement. self-improvement. You're not gonna wanna hear this because there's no actionable step, blah, blah, blah. You gotta go find the experiences. I hope that actually comforts you. I hope that you know that if you just go turn off this video right now, you don't even watch the rest. Like, literally, when this video ends, actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Now, you should just shut off your computer and go do something. Go chase that thing. And make sure when you're watching videos like this, you truly respect the person that you're looking up to. Investigate our lives, investigate us as person, watch more of the videos and see if you can respect it. Like, for example, I can't watch a self-improvement video from somebody who hasn't either gone through the experience themselves or truly, I can't watch it if they're not jacked. If they're not healthy, if they're not fit, I can't watch it. Like, why would I listen to a fucking skinny bitch like teaching me how to get buff? It's not my ideal, you know. So if I hear it from these men of these greats like Arnold and like my heroes, I'm gonna believe it more. And you'll never respect 100% of anybody, but hopefully the person that you're listening to and you're taking the word of, you respect them as a person and they have qualities that you want. You should honor what you have right now. Because I guarantee in each and every one of you watching, there is a quality in you that nobody else has. There's something in you that is better than everybody else in the world. And it could just be you being you and nobody can be you better than you. However, it could be you are the most creative person you are. You are the most loving. You do this the best. Honor that. Honor where you are. Honor the parts that suck too. Honor the parts that you want to get better. Because if you don't honor that, you can't come to being okay with those. Take a step back and appreciate that you suck at this. You suck at talking to women. You suck at making money. And you can't look back and appreciate that you suck right now. You're never gonna get better. And if I can give just one actionable step to take from this entire video is either pen and paper in your journal or right now, just shut off everything and just think about the man that you truly want to be. What does he look like? What does he do? What do others say about him? And then ask yourself this before you do anything in your life, before these big decisions. Will that man be proud of what you're about to do? Because remember, nobody deserves to tell you what you want to be. You have to go find it. You have to go conquer it. And you have to learn how to self-improve from it. I love you, boys. You know what will help beside fucking tickling the subscribe button is let me know in the comment section what topics you want covered. The ones with the most likes, I'm probably gonna make a video on it. I love you. See you in the next one. Peace.